Howdy, and welcome to our mentor training video. Today we'll be going over what is mentoring, mentor admin and mentee goals and expectations, relationship development and maintenance, challenges with mentoring, active listening and growth mindset, and finally, safety and ethical concerns with mentoring. We'll start off with the basics of mentoring. So, what is a mentor? We define a mentor as a confidant who is open-minded and can provide a different perspective. As a confidant, you're expected to listen to your mentee's goals, frustrations, and aspirations. Make sure your mentee feels heard and you are willing to help them. Being open-minded means you are willing to work with your mentee to further their goals. Make sure you hear out their plans and give them the advice they need to be successful. Giving a different perspective can allow your mentee to see various routes to accomplish their goals. Sometimes a mentee might feel lost or overwhelmed. Providing your perspective can help them find their own path to success. Now let's talk about the different expectations between a mentor, admin, and mentee. As a mentor, you are expected to be responsive, which means you should be able to adapt to what your mentee is doing and what changes they go through in terms of their goals and aspirations. Actively listen. Listen to your mentee and provide feedback. Make sure your mentee feels heard and understood. Share your experiences. Share experiences you have learned from. This can help your mentee understand different perspectives and potentially help them learn lessons you've already experienced. Provide a safe space for your mentee. Make sure your mentee feels comfortable and safe talking to you. We'll dive deeper into this later in our mentor expectations section. There are various topics mentors excel at providing guidance and advice on. To start your mentoring relationship on the best foot possible, it's worthwhile to ensure your mentee understands the topics that you are best suited for versus the topics that your program manager or admin are better equipped to handle. As a mentor, you are responsible for assisting your mentee with career-related questions, college to career-related questions, how to find internships, interview skills, resume advice, networking questions, and if you feel comfortable, your suggestions on how to participate in self-care. It's worth noting that these are not the only topics you can talk to your mentee about. As we all know, mentors are humans. We don't expect you to have all of the answers. If you do have any questions you don't know, please feel free to reach out to your program manager and ask us anything. Speaking of program managers and program admins, they also have their own responsibilities. Program managers and program admins can help your mentee with mentoring program logistics, academic-related questions, financial aid questions, and campus resources. Also, any questions that you might have as well. Now let's talk about mentee expectations. We tell our mentees, like all relationships in life, mentoring is a two-way street. Mentees are expected to ensure there is clear communication between them and their mentoring partner, create goals and share them with their mentor partner, meet at minimum twice a semester with their mentoring partner, and develop a growth mindset. Now let's talk about the ways to develop and maintain the relationship throughout the mentoring process. As mentors, we need to make a concerted effort to start your mentoring relationship on the best foot. How do we ensure that? Talk about your mentee. Ask them about their passions, career aspirations, and themselves. Talking about these three things can help you get to know your mentee a little bit better and have future topics of discussion. You might find that you have more in common than you think. To ensure a successful mentoring relationship for the long term, make sure you discuss your mentee's goals. Modes of communication you are both comfortable with, like email, Zoom, or a mixture of these things. And communication frequency, like if you'll chat bi-weekly or on a monthly basis. Make sure to establish these 3 things early on to keep the relationship strong throughout the mentoring term. Every mentoring relationship comes across some challenges. Here are some that you might come across. Lack of clear communication, mentee not opening up, and misconnections and scheduling issues. At times, a mix of all of these can cause your mentee to not reach out. Make sure to be proactive. In other words, remind your mentee that you are here to help them and reach out to them first if they are not responding. Next up, we'll talk about 2 characteristics that you can develop in order to build a more effective mentoring relationship: active listening and having a growth mindset. Active listening can be defined as a skill that requires the listener to fully concentrate, understand, recall, and reiterate what has been said. For example, your mentee might come to you with an anecdote about their current leadership position with their student organization. Ensure to give them all the room and time they need to finish out their story. While they do this, listen attentively and not interrupt them. Then, when they come to the end of their story, recall the situation back to them in your own words. This is active listening. As we mentioned earlier, having a growth mindset means believing that a person's capacities and talents can be improved over time. The mentoring program is here to help you develop your skills. Make sure to come into the program with a positive attitude and help your mentoring partner develop a growth mindset as well. Safety and ethical concerns. As we close out our training, we wanted to inform you of various resources in case you have any ethical or safety issues. Note that all resources are confidential. Finally, always remember to meet in a public space with your mentee. And that wraps up mentoring training. We hope that you walk away from this video with some new insights into how to have a successful mentoring partnership. Happy mentoring, thanks, and gig 'em!